Hi everybody and welcome to another video here on my channel, and today we are going to take a look at another open source software called GravitySimulator. Now the software is open source and it's also available on GitHub, so it also runs locally on your machine, but there we will take a look at a website where this thing is currently running, and it runs perfectly in a browser. However, the only caveat is that it seems, according to the GitHub repository, that it has not been maintained since 2-3 years or so. So if you have the passion to, fork maybe the repo and also continue working on it. I'm not the developer, I cannot speak for them, but I think it would be nice to see some more developments in this area. Anyway, without further ado, I would say let's switch to GravitySimulator and see what we can do. I would say the major thing you can conduct in GravitySimulator is to do n-body simulations. So how do different objects behave when they orbit around each other? In one of my previous videos, I was talking about also orbit mechanics and so on. And yeah, only for 2 bodies you can really solve it analytically. Everything else needs to be conducted in a numerical simulation, and there's a lot of things to consider, a lot of so-called integrators and what have you, and yeah, a lot of settings that are kind of difficult, especially to get an overview if you want to just program things. But here we will have a visual representation of what's going on. So I would say, let's go to GravitySimulator. Now this is basically the starting or landing page of GravitySimulator at gravitysimulator.org. And the code is here. If you click on contribute, you go to the corresponding GitHub repository. Now, first of all, we see a lot of different scenarios that are here. We can also create our own simulations and also take a look at new scenarios. There are also exoplanets that we can look at. There are also some other miscellaneous stuff, but all in all, they are here gathered together in all. I don't want to go through all of these simulations. I would like to take a look at today's video at some of the simulations I find kind of nice and also very educational. Don't get me wrong, all of them are really educational, but I would suggest let's go here step by step and see what we can do in this tool. Now here, first of all, we have, for example, the collision of galaxies. So this is like how the tool looks like when we load a new scenario. Of course, you have to be aware these are not high computational or computational heavy simulations, so it's not comparable to something that is being published on papers or so. But anyway, we have a lot of possibilities to simulate the physics. For example, here we have the integrator, as I just told you, with different different precisions. RK Runga Kote 4 is, I would say, pretty well. The different time step integrations and so on can be adjusted, but let's leave it here to the default values, and then we can also have a look at the different masses, and here are basically the names of these 2 galaxies. Now here for the graphics, we can also adjust some things, like for example the mass names, the barycenter and so on, and also the particle size attenuation. So if we turn it on, then it looks a little bit overcrowded, so I would suggest to leave it as it is. And these are just 2 galaxies. We see here like 2 disk galaxies with a spherical center. And if we now take a look here at the bottom left, we can now start on play and have a look at how these things behave. And of course, some particles are leaving in a very weird manner away, because as I told you, not everything is probably simulated 100% perfectly, but it gives us a very good feeling how these things behave. So if we increase the pace a little bit, we see also other weird effects maybe. But the cool thing is we see how the galaxies are being bent and how they interact with each other and how the particles are moving around. Now, the thing is that we have also out there a catalog, the ARP catalog, I think, for weird shaped merger galaxies. And as you can see, for example, here in this image, we see 2 galaxies colliding, and they have also a weird shape because of all the gravitational perturbations that if we move back to our simulations, we see, well, we exaggerated here a little bit, but you get a basic idea, especially for the first steps. Now, if we go back here to our gravity simulator, I think this is a little bit overwhelming. We can maybe take a look at something that is a little bit more, let's say, basic or easier to understand. For example, we have here the Apophis 2029 Earth Encounter. So for those of you who do not know, in the year 2029, the asteroid Apophis will have a close encounter with our home planet. It will not hit the Earth, so this is good for us. But it will have a very close flyby. And let me just see where it is. It's moving there. So the scenario has probably been added, like Earth in the center, a moon with all the different settings. And then the orbital elements of Apophis. We can also increase the pace a little bit and see how it is moving towards our home planet. Could be also an interesting project also for Python also. But you will see also here the moon's orbit is also a little bit changing. It's not 100% perfect, but it gives us a very good understanding how the things move and behave in the solar system. So Apophis here you see is having a very close encounter. I'm not 100% sure what the current values are. I think it was something like 40,000 kilometers or something, but yeah, we will make a dedicated video about Apophis in another video. Now we have also other simulations here. I think the other one that I really liked was the how Trojan asteroids come to be. Now for those of you who do not know what these things are, maybe it's also another video. I mean, hey, I'm generating new ideas here in the simulation tool. We have, for example, Jupiter, or also I think Saturn as well, is like has a gravitational effect in the solar system that leads to a population of certain asteroids. Of course, the other planets can also do it, but especially for Jupiter, we observe this quite well. And some of them are so-called the Trojans that are like moving behind Saturn at a certain angular distance or also in front of it, but they have a different name in this regard. And the question is how these things behave. Here in this simulation, they create a small disk of particles, so namely basically the asteroids, and of course, it's very chaotic. It cannot simulate 100,000s of years. What you see basically is we have here some kind of center object like a star. We have here a planet with the different Lagrange points. So we have the Lagrange points here, L3, and also I have to maybe pause it a little bit. The L5, and here's the L3, L4, and here's the planet. And the Lagrange points, for example, also our home planet has the Lagrange points, yeah, for example, L1 and L2. And maybe you know that, for example, in these, especially in these Lagrange points, we have some observational satellites there, like for example, the James Webb Space Telescope, because certain Lagrange points, they allow us to have like pseudo-stable orbits. And the other Lagrange points have, some are less stable and some have also the ability to create some pseudo-stable or semi-stable orbits. And you can see a little bit how the planet is now cleaning up its orbit a few degrees in front of it and behind. It's a little bit maybe making you dizzy, but here you can see how the particles or how the asteroids are now concentrating in this region, so forming a very, very closed C shape. And of course, we integrated now for 113 years in this constellation. But if you would do this for 100,000s of years, also maybe with a more detailed simulation, of course, right, with maybe higher precision here in the physics, choosing an integrator that is a little bit more, I wouldn't say sophisticated, but more precise for this kind of measurements, then we will see how this C shape is becoming more and more clear. Maybe let's speed up things a little bit and wait for a few seconds. What's happening? Yeah, and you see actually the limit of this tool. This kind of behavior is not very healthy and not very realistic. You see, you can integrate for a few minutes or so, a few seconds, but otherwise things get a little bit messy. But I would suggest you can still use it, of course, also to have an understanding how certain movements behave. Now, speaking of which, we have here also other three-body, as you call it, three-body shenanigans, for example, or also the interstellar comet Borisov. or the Oumuamua object, for example, as well, and other simulations. You can also create your new one, but this is maybe something for you to figure out, to play around a little bit with. I have to say, I'm really impressed by what they created. It's completely open source. It runs in the browser. You can also download and run it locally. I think also there is some room of improvement, especially if you want to work with more, maybe adding something like a simple mode, for example, that for people who are not that deep into astrodynamics and integrations, as I told you, the Galaxies, collisions was a little bit sometimes exaggerating, as well as also the Trojan part. You see a little bit the picture that should come out at some point. We have here at L4 and at L5 some concentrations of the asteroids. This did not happen now for our simulation, but maybe a simple mode that would help people to get to this point would be kind of helpful. Like, for example, in Universe Sandbox, where especially the advanced settings are hidden in some kind of hidden or deeper menus. Anyway, I'm sharing the link in the description. Go ahead and play around a little bit with it. I got new ideas for new Python videos as well. If you're wondering what I'm up to recently, I'm creating a new lecture in the university. It's the lecture it's the one lecture only embedded in another bigger lecture called Astronomy Missions, and my lecture has a title AI in Astronomy. Now, if you really don't like the AI topic because of all the hype, don't worry. I will have a 90 minutes lecture, 45 minutes around of describing the basics of AI, and I'm not talking about ChatGPT. I just want to show the really basics and the fundamentals of machine learning, and then also presenting some papers of some recent discoveries. 90 minutes is way too short to show everything, of course, but maybe you will be interested because I will record the lecture here at this desk, and this will be the next video coming out next week. So I hope that you're looking forward to it. Thank you very much for supporting my channel. Thank you very much also for all the kind comments I receive almost on a daily basis and also via mail. And until next time.